sitting here watching this stream today, you cannot underestimate how ahead of the curve you are right now.
Bitcoin looks tired. Altcoins look hungry.
I'm just not quite sure that Bitcoin has any more solves.
I still think this thing is really worth a lot more than it is.
This stuff's spooky, man. These chaos PRZs are intense.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Solana is highly performant and has the team with the experience to support it.
$4,800 Ethereum. That's a big, big move here.
Whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Hero Labs Live. I'm your host, RT, going by Random Task 555 on Twitter. Just gonna pull up this YouTube chat so I can see all your beautiful faces, sort of. Clicked on all kinds of stuff there. It wasn't the right one. While I get that stuff back, let's do a volume check. This is the first day we're doing SoundCloud, which is nice because it was created by one of our community members, one of our fans, Jedi Hornet. Big shout out to you, who's also been pretty savvy with the dog tokens, as far as I recall. I was talking about SHIB back in, I don't know, a little while ago. Recent enough that you didn't have to try to pretend like you bought it last year, because let's be real. Oh, God. Come on, YouTube. Size down, sir. There we go. Let's be real. If you bought what's called SHIB back at, whatever. There's a sick story. The guy with the wallet bought $8,000 worth of SHIB, now worth like $5.7 billion. It's pretty incredible because his wallet is actually still active. It's not even like it was forgotten. Okay, music too high. Okay, thanks for the shout. I'm gonna cut that music in half. Should be better balanced now. Give me a shout in the chat, one way or the other. Sound good? Sound good? Yeah. So good to have you guys back. Unfortunately, if you guys you were ready to see Daniel Sesta today on Frog Radio or listened in with us, unfortunately he had to reschedule. So we're pushing that to Tuesday. If you guys are coming over from that, you're wondering, you're fiending for a little market fix, I'm going to do my best here on a Friday. It's an all-time high day, depending what coins you're in, especially Ethereum. Now, if you notice what's going on with my camera right now, this is the weirdest thing, because, we were on DeltaFi on Wednesday. None of that. But for some reason, these solo streams, I'm getting it. And it's so weird. The old unplug, replug, try a bit of this, try a bit of that. It's 4K, it's a nice camera, but apparently it doesn't want to work. But only on the solo stream, so it's really bizarre. I thought it was fixed because Wednesday was buttery smooth. So I'm just going to stay off the chart today because it's really distracting when you see flickering, and I get that. Yeah, I heard RFox is moving today, David. We're going to check that out. We not chicken dinner. BK's in the house. Good to have you, brother. Nice to see you as well. So anyways, yeah. So Daniela was off today. I think he's in Dubai or something. Anyways, busy guy. I'm frankly amazed he has time to talk to anybody with all the stuff he's been putting out. So, slight disappointment there. But life is all about rolling with what comes at you. And if you're looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, and you see what I see, that is a 4-hour closing a low, a higher low, and then a 4-hour kind of confirming here a higher high as far as reversing this little downtrend we've had on the 4-hour since basically the 20th. So about 8 days ago. So that's really exciting. What's even more exciting is that Ethereum is making new all-time highs. After a really clean tag here, double tag, and then just a nice pop. Don't see the volume here. That doesn't mean it's a market-wide phenomenon, but at least on Binance, you would like to see this kind of breakout take over these previous two sell highs. So there's still a little bit I'd like to see done here. Now, not to get too overthinky, we're not seeing the volume here on Coinbase either. A new high is a new high. It's a new all-time high. It's really tough to beat that in anything, crypto, asset, standard TradFi stocks, like new all-time highs, price discovery. especially in a market that is this disconnected from fundamental analysis, PE ratios, earnings, all that stuff, because it's so based on speculation that price discovery can really run wild. There's no like fundamentalists who can walk by and say, well, actually, according to this very particular criteria-based math set, this is overvalued. I mean, you can't do that, really. I mean, someone could come along and speculate, but... So I'm excited to see what we can do with price discovery. Also, with this chart, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin, which hasn't really moved since May. So all that drawdown we've seen since May, and then the July lows, and then back up to making new highs. Like, this is just Ethereum, Bitcoin, really just stuck in like a 32% range. It's a big range, but it hasn't moved significantly, right? It made this low, hasn't lost it. Made this high, hasn't taken it. So when we break out of this range, one way or the other, it looks very uppy for now. We got some nice buy volumes starting to creep in. Buyers outweighing the sellers. And of course, Ethereum now into sort of like all-time high zone. Doesn't look as good here. But of course, if you put it on a line chart, it starts to be a little more clear that we're closing a couple days into new price territory. So really excited to see what that will mean for all the rest of the bags. Because when Ethereum outperforms, typically that's when you get the most upside in the market. That's when the most asymmetric bets tend to hit. Bitcoin dominant market is great. It's the start of a new liquidity cycle most often, as long as, Bitcoin price is trending up while it's happening. Let's go check out the weekly views. Let's go see what Bitcoin dominance is doing. I actually haven't looked at it in a couple days. And if you're just tuning in, big shout to Jedi Hornet from the Hxro Labs Discord. He provided our tunes today. Copyright free. Thank you, sir. And that's important to us because we just clicked on some ads, which not that exciting for you guys, but from a business perspective, if somebody hires me and they say, hey, come on in, we're gonna build a brand, we're gonna do a YouTube channel. It's exciting for me to get to finally turn on the faucet and turn this into, like whatever. It's a 30-second ad. I think they're all over YouTube, but that means no my tunes anymore. It's gotta be Jedi Hornet. So music sponsored by Jedi Hornet. Thank you, sir. Now right here we've got just kind of chopping. Consolidation range is what I wrote here because that's what I want to see. Sometimes you just got to put it on the chart. I think we can delete this. That we've already had that. Well, that's not even the right moving average. Let's switch that up. So this is the 20-week moving average. And as you can see, it really guided us down through this bull market for altcoins, or this Bitcoin dominance weakness. The retest of it here was a trigger to a hard sell-off and then a hard bounce all the way down at weekly support, which is really the last stand before all-time lows. And then a strong bounce tagged gingerly right into the 20-week moving average and then dropped again to weekly support. So when we regained that 20-week moving average, that's a significant development. That's something to pay attention to. That is something that, made me a little bit sheepish on alts versus Bitcoin. But the other option, rather than just like, straight down and then like straight back up, because alts, L1s, DeFi, they're so strong. NFTs, like all of that stuff. Only Bitcoin is on Bitcoin. Every single other thing in crypto is is against it in this case. So I have a hard time thinking all of a sudden we do this. Like you'd have to have like Russia and all these like other major countries, even, I don't know, any 10 countries really at this point announcing that they were going to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. That would maybe do it. But short of that, I think a consolidation range is in the cards. I mean, that would be ideal, right? Bitcoin can go up, alts can catch up. Bitcoin can go up, alts can catch up, and we just trend higher versus price. And as long as we need to just chop around in here, all the better. So I guess the next big step is this set of highs. You don't really want to trade above that. Got weekly resistance, got a big downtrend. I said earlier in the year, I don't think I'd be shocked if some kind of Bitcoin rally ended with a tag of that downtrend. And right when everyone started saying like, oh, altcoins are for losers, Bitcoin's the king, and then maybe kick off our final end of year rally, even though that's October 2022 over here. So maybe a little sooner than that, but who knows? Not here to play bold long-term predictions as much as, what actions will I take when certain criteria happen. So I did go and switch some stuff over into Bitcoin once we cleared this 20-week moving average. That was my plan. Said, here, yeah, a little bit because, okay, sick reload zone. But up here, it was like, okay, shit's getting a little bit real. I do want to transition into a little bit more Bitcoin. Everyone out there talking about, ooh, the rotator, it doesn't matter. The plan is when this shows a lot of strength, I've got to reallocate a little bit. So I did do some of that. And I mean, look at this weekly. Put this out on Twitter earlier today. I just saw this. I was like, oh, there's like a weird sexual energy to this chart right now. Just like casually, just like, boop, hello. Little rest here, just chilling. Like, how many weeks does it move sideways here? And then, like, does anything about that chart look toppy? Or like, oh no, it's the end of the move. Like, nothing about that chart looks like the end of a move. So this looks like a monster bull. Let's not understate how big of a bull this was, right? It doesn't look as much like it from here, but if you were around through that, you might remember the emotions that were coming in at 12K and 20K, right? These were the previous all-time highs, big area, and you can see it took a month to navigate that. That's a big debate here between bulls and bears. And then as soon as it was navigated, whoosh, teleport, right? And so that's kind of what I see happening here. And you're going to have this fight here, right? We tried to move up last week, smack down by the bears, like people betting against more highs, or maybe just taking profit off some nice July buys. But a couple of weeks here to debate, and when this debate ends, you can bet, I will bet, that there will be a fairly aggressive move, one way or the other, but I'm leaning like 92% up. So for whatever that means, I pulled a number out of my hat there, but God, it just looks good. Foreplay. That's the foreplay. Jeff Deming, I appreciate you too. Thank you, sir. Jedi is a great guy, I agree. Vitalik buying back with SHIB gains. Yeah, seriously. I wonder what his SHIB is worth. 50% of the SHIB supply is sitting in Vitalik's wallet, or I guess the India fundraiser now, the COVID relief fund. I wonder what that's worth just for fun. They wouldn't sell it, and they probably couldn't. But that guy so the guy has $5.8 billion in SHIB in his wallet. I wish I could pull it up, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the coolest SHIB story out there. This isn't even the best chart. Let's go to a real SHIB chart. One that came before all the big listings. Oh man, it looks like I was charting it down here. I missed that. I was like, oh look, it's resistance. I was gonna say, wait for something like this. Well, once it came, it didn't stop. Oh well, I'm not. I for one will say I don't give a shit about missing or not missing SHIB. I'm following a plan. The market's very friendly. I'm not gonna. The thing is, you're gonna live through these cycles, guys. You're gonna live through some bulls. You're gonna live through some bears. It's gonna feel gross. It's gonna feel euphoric. You cannot let things like this, maybe missing something like this, you cannot let that ruin your day. You just can't. If I held a bunch of this from back here and I sold it right here, sure, I'd be a little butthurt. I'd be a little salty. Look, market's always moving. There's always a bull somewhere. Even in the bear, some shit pops 400%. You've got to learn, if you want to be a trader and you want to make it long term in this, you've got to learn how to just look at stuff and be like, oh, interesting. Oh, market's moving. Not, cling to what could have been. So I honestly don't feel one pang of oops about this chart. Just putting that out there. And you should, if you are feeling like, oh no, if only I bought SHIB, I would have made it by now. That's loser talk, man. You got to get out of that mindset. Okay, all that to say, this guy bought $8,000 worth of SHIB. It's now worth $5.7 billion, and then we thought, oh, is it like a lost wallet? Like how? First of all, let me ask you this: how are you not selling something now? $5.7 billion. I mean, you can't sell even close to that, but take 100 mil off the table, kid. But my other question is this: how do you hold something from $8,000? It goes to 500K. You're like, okay, sick. Drops to 100K. You're like, oh no, you don't sell anything. You don't panic. Goes to 10 million, drops a bit. Goes to 100 million, goes to $1 billion, goes to 5. Like, at what point, like who's holding that? I'm impressed. And it's an active wallet. He was trading stuff like 2 days ago, buying dog shit coins. Like, I really want to meet this person, this individual, this bot, because I'll tell you what, all these people that are saying like, oh, if only I bought then and held it, you wouldn't have held it. There's no way you would have held it. See, somebody's saying, yeah, dude's in jail, whatever, but like the wallet bought something 2 days ago. So it's interesting, maybe he's in jail, but like who's buying on his wallet? Somebody has access to that wallet who had it 48 hours ago. They have the keys and they're not cashing it. But could you imagine too? That's a cool story if he was in jail and it's like, hopefully for not something too bad, but then yeah, get out of jail. You're like, I'm a billionaire, bitch. Or who do you trust in your life enough to go hire them to go and sell it so you don't miss it, or you can use that money to become like rich enough to just not have to be in jail? Because let's be honest, the ultra wealthy just don't usually go to jail. And if they do, they don't stay long. And if they do, they're living pretty comfortably. So endless interest. So that's all I care about with SHIB. Some of these fascinating stories of like absolute rags to riches purchases. Very interesting. All that to say, yeah, like, I don't know. Through the swings, how does someone hold on to that? Who in their right mind? You'd have to be in jail, right? Like, who? Now look, Klima, oh, that's not the chart. There it is. Klima took a dive today, all the way down to 1,200. Like, that's a severe drop, and that's kind of the fear that I had. This fork season with Olympus DAO, and then Wonderland Time, both very successful early on, grinding higher, churning higher. Then Klima comes out, it's doing some carbon credit stuff, proper use case, proper shout over to Olympus. Seems legit. And it is, so far as I can tell. I don't have any. But the concern always is like, who are the base holders? Who are those pre-salers? What kind of crowd was trying to get in? That was my take on this, was like, it's like there's people complaining about like, oh, the people that got into time early, like that's not fair. But look, you can't argue with their performance. Nobody's dumping, nobody's ripped through the charts. There was some selling off today. Somebody exited like, I don't know, a couple of 50 lots in a row. What the hell's their problem? I don't know. It looks like they moved it all over to FTX in a hurry. So what are they longing? What are they shorting? I don't know. But, when you see this kind of growth, that tells you there's a very strong base of holders from the beginning. And I did worry about Klima, for friends of mine that were like, should I get into this? It's an ohm fork. I was concerned simply because I remember the launch day and the kinds of people, the type of crowd that was chomping at the bit to get in. They're not strong holders. Sorry. Some of you might be listening saying, fuck you, I haven't sold, but it was the type that were like, this is the thing that's going to get me rich. And when you want to get rich, you have to sell. Not the kind of like, hey, we want to support this project. So there's definitely a mix of both, but for the most part, I was a little nervous about this one. So let's see. I have no ill intent. I hope that the people who got out made their money, and there's a nice strong base of buyers that want to get in here and hold on to some carbon credits or however that works. But there is a ripple, right? Let's take a look at Ohm. There is a ripple across. Coming up into all-time high resistance here with APYs. It is tricky to push through big resistance because there is so much money to be made in holding. Like lots of resistance here, big resistance here, dump, and we're right back up to it. So, what you want to see with a coin like this is sideways or up. Sideways is very profitable when you have Olympus DAO style APYs. So we'll see if we're going to just flag out here, if we have to drip back down a bit to 900s, but it's not that big a range to live inside if you're getting whatever it is now, 7,000% APY. 30% range. Pretty much the same as time, actually. I think. Let's see. Yeah, about a 30% range. So, as much as these want to echo each other and mirror, time is coming in to support sort of local reload zone. If we're going to range, this is probably support of that range, if not down here, but it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm getting a little nervous about the number of forks. Not like, oh no, what's going to happen to Ohm and Time? They're going to stand the test of time. I'm confident in that. Ohm for first mover advantage and a very strong community. And Time simply because the holder base, Daniela, they've got the man. And just a really innovative product. The number of holders is incredible because you can do micro buys. So it's open to a lot more people. So I'm confident in these two sticking around. I do worry about sort of third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh movers through the door. I think there's like 12 now. And typically when you've just seen successful projects like this and then you decide to spin up your own, a lot of it is just quick, get the money in. So like Not the case in time, right? There's a bolder, broader plan there. But with these that just came out after the fork of the fork of the fork, you're like, what's their deal? What are they trying to do? 9 times out of 10, they just say, hey, we could be the guys to found this and then get super rich. And they don't hold and they don't innovate. So, we'll see. It's typically into the 4th and 5th and 6th fork, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. So buyer beware. I'm not touching any of those. For the record. Ohm, hell yeah. Actually, yeah. I shouldn't know. I don't hold a lot of Ohm. It's one that, we did pretty hard. Wouldn't mind having a bag. I'll throw a shout to the creators. I'm a big fan of their product. But mostly a time boy, as y'all know. Now, Bitcoin looking like this on the weekly just makes you feel something. I don't know. Having lived through some bearishness, having lived through even just May and June, if you just got here this year, you've got to feel something right now. Probably something pleasurable. I don't know about fear. There's a lot of fear when you get to these levels, right? Double top, is it that? Yeah. I can't afford to think like that. You spend enough time in the markets and you just got to spot opportunities when they come. I'm not saying a long here is going to definitely pay off. I mean, longing up here so far has been very tricky, right? Look at this sweep here. Anybody longing through this is probably thinking, yeah, these lows are a great, if we go below there, I don't want to be in. Well, we went below there and there was a huge buyback on the 4 hour. Huge. So it's not an easy place to be long, but as far as like holding spot Bitcoin, this place is probably about as easy it is for me to just hold and not worry about, should I sell? Should I try to sell, buy back in the 50s? Maybe. Or am I going to hold and then what's my upside, right? It's pretty infinite at this point. Potential. Price discovery is a true beast. Especially now, you got Facebook, Metaverse, kind of shades of crypto with Metaverse talk. You've got no doubt other countries other than El Salvador poking around. And pension funds, one out in Korea, something in Texas, cat's out of the bag. Not worried about highs just yet, but the dog token stuff, yeah, of course, makes you a little nervous, right? Yeah, Schuler, I was watching that wallet too. I don't know, I don't get it. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. These protocols are designed for people to interact with. It's DeFi, but obviously it stings when somebody goes like full ham exit on a coin that you're still bullish on. But yeah, I wasn't planning on, cashing everything out today or anything anytime soon anyway. So it just is what it is. We grind. Bought a sizable bag of Ohm when the whale getting licked feels good. Yeah, Schuler, I should have. I was looking at this. I was staring at this. I forget the exact night, the 16th, 15th. I was looking right at this. I even put this on my chart, like this support. I was like, oh, interesting throwback. But it was a dark moment. And I didn't have a ton of liquidity in my ETH wallet at the moment, and ETH fees were extremely high, and I just thought, I hesitated, and then it just went whoop. So, yeah, well, I would like to have some, though. Something that's on my list of things that I would like to have, but I don't at the moment. Okay, so let's 3x on my SHIB investment. BK asking straight up financial advice in the chat. My man. Can't answer that. I will tell you this. This is not a place where you go to find undervalued bets. The best thing I've done when I'm up multiple X on something, or when I'm just, strategy wise, and the smartest trader I know does this. He'll buy something at W's, like so when he sees breakouts on like a chart like this, and he's got SHIB. I'm pretty sure he had some of that because he just does it ad nauseum. Anything that looks like this and then has a W breakout, pick it up. And then when it hits 2x, you just sell half. That's his strategy. It works incredibly. At CR Investor on Twitter, founder of TRI, my boy Ryan Beamish. Little old lady strategy, and the idea is that once you get 2x, just say you put in $500, turns into 1,000, take your 500 back. This is not me advising you. I'm talking about how the plan goes. You take your 500 back, and now you have your 500 back, but you still have exposure. So it's not like, ooh, I got 2x, I'm going to cash out and make a big win, because then what happens? It goes to 4, 5, 10 maybe x, and you're just like salty because you're not in it. And if anything, you're going to risk buying it back higher out of FOMO, and then you get dumped on. So he just calmly sells half on a double all the way up. 500 turns to 1,000, sell half, take your 500 out. That last 500 you left in there turns into 1,000 again. Take another 500 out, and you just milk, rinse, repeat, repeat. And what do you do with those 500s you took back out? You go park them in something else. When that doubles, you do that. And so it's really learning about how to spot when to enter these things, and then how to like hold. So that's the little old lady strategy. That's the, so yeah, if I'm up 3x on something and could go higher, could just dump. I have no idea. But can I ring the cash register as a trader? Most likely, yeah. Most of the time. That's my 2 cents. Because it's a win-win, right? Because it goes back down, you're like, oh, I got my money back. It's a free position, risk-free. That's a very rare thing in the market, being risk-free. Everything's risky. So if you can go risk-free, sick. But keeps going higher, well, shit, still got a bag. It's a win-win. My brother Joseph was looking so good, but now he looks like he caught a cold or something. Yeah. Joe is, Joe's doing its thing. It's a high inflation coin. A lot of sick rewards. Oh, that is not the one. Let's go see Joe. Let's go visit old Joe. Joe's coming into the PCZ. Let's not sleep on old Joey boy just yet. Oh, I gotta move this a bit. It did make a new high. Joe's in a level that I like to look at. I did pick up some Joe, very sheepishly down here. Admittedly, should have been more aggressive, whatever, into the reload zone. Again, on this pop, I think I've added back maybe, I don't know, a quarter of what I once had way back when. So yeah, I'd like to see what I can do here in this PCZ. I know there was some concerns because of the Cream hack and that Banker Joe was somehow forked from Cream code. And so they had to pause it the other day. I actually don't know the latest on that, but they paused it out of an abundance of caution because Cream obviously was exploited. And if there's any of that same code, they wanted to, do a little bit of an audit on that. So that could be a slowdown for Joe. Maybe it's back open. I actually don't know offhand, but they were paused at one point. Just Banker Joe. Trader Joe is a fork of another protocol, not Cream. I forget the one that they forked for Trader Joe, but it's legit. It's good. Yeah, Andrew Nichols says it's open. Banker Joe's fine. Taking prices from different feed or something. Yeah. And Trader Joe not impacted. Yeah, so we're good. So, but that's me speculating on like, well, why did it slow down? Maybe some of that, or it's just like, whatever, man. It moved up, 125% in 2 weeks after a huge drawdown. Like it's going to have to ebb and flow its way higher. And you're still getting Joe rewards. And so some people like to sell them. So with the Joe rewards coming out, this thing can just kind of trend sideways for a while. And I don't even mind. Let's see if it's fib ponging. Let's go take a look at the fib pong. That could be a huge consolidation pattern. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. So this is like my favorite trade setup, mostly because I came up with it and that makes me feel proud of it. So I like to trade it, but it's the idea of Fibonacci ping pong. So you have a huge rally, clear bearish market structure top that we looked at on Twitter, whatever, a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think I got on Twitter a couple days late. Oops. But there was a breakdown on the daily and it basically said, okay, it's a farm token. So when you're in a bearish trend, it's going to hit hard, and it did. But you get into this reload zone, spring higher. Where are you going to go? Short reload zone from that range. And now that we've dropped from there, where are we probably going to go? According to this setup, it would have been a short from this sweet spot and then probably closing that here. As far as like what's interesting and valuable today, well, maybe this is where I'm looking to get long. I know I like my PCZ and all that, but this is starting to look like a big old fib pong. And if you guys are wondering, say, wow, boy, if that keeps going, it's going to form a triangle. And you're absolutely right. And I would speculate that a lot of triangles in the market come from this kind of thing, where you just get that kind of fib pong. And then if it gets to here, then what you would do is draw your fib from there to that low. And then you end up here, and it gradually gets smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually you break out. So does it break out there, or does it come back one more time? And then, so that's fib pong. And I think that's, you can zoom in on any time frame and play with that. Got a video, actually have a video on this YouTube called The Reload Zone. So you can check that out. I don't think I went into specifically the fib pong on that, but it's the idea of how to place fibs and where those triangles come from. So I think that might be happening on Joe right here, now that I really look at it. A lot of the coins I look at with you guys, I'm just looking at with you guys right now. It's not like I came pre-prepared with that theory on Joe, but now that we dive into it, that makes sense. This is how I was looking at it before, but you see where I can get into trouble here, right? Because the PCZ, short for pump chaser zone, that that's a tool where it's like if you have a huge impulse and you're not going to get much chance to get in, you just scoop it up right on that little dip and then it should go. Well, look, we came out, we just, you know, made a high and then fell off again. So maybe we're not ready for the PCZ. I think that FibPong thing is a lot more of an attractive trade opportunity here. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. And then we just really have 2 exit options, right? 1, 2, 3. Usually it's the 4th, so maybe further, but that could be cool. I mean, because look, the nice thing about this is, you know, you can have this set up and you can have like 3 great trades right in here. You can start taking longs in the reload zone, then you can sell it here, find a way to short it, depending what asset it is. Then you can take another long here, you can take profit here, maybe even close half, see if it'll run, you know, and then if it gets down here, you can try to bet long. There's a lot of trades in one, but the thing to trigger this setup, what you need is a very strong move, followed by like a smackdown. And that usually will shock the market into a state of consolidation. So on the high time frames, it looks like that's where we're at with old Yosef. Yeah, Jeff Deming says, I sold all my SHIB at a 7x. It's higher now, but it's a win. Yep. Dude, you'll never go broke trading 7x's. Ever. I guess the key to that is, you know, protecting that capital in between 7x's. But yeah, that's the right attitude, man. Nobody. I don't think anybody is going to buy bottom, sell top on SHIB. I mean, I think it's physically impossible because if you're in anywhere near the bottom, you're up to like billions. There's no liquidity anyways. Ghost, please serve my family. All right, let's check out Ghost. I actually had some of this at one point. I think maybe I have a chart on it. I don't know if it's on here though. I bet it's on, yeah, I think it's here. Avagachi. Yeah, we were talking, oh, this is one we were talking about on stream a while ago. It's always interesting to go see an old chart. It was, I think it was right here. So it hasn't really moved much since then. It's up a little bit, starting to move hard. Nice buy volume coming in. Pretty ugly chart though. I think probably want to clean this up now. Let's just cut it. Yeah. Oh, it looks good. Really strong, higher lows. Coming into all-time high resistance. That could really run. Nice volume coming in. I'm not much of a breakout trader on coins like this. I will admit I did buy some ETH basically at the all-time highs this week because I just said, damn, that looks good. It's probably going to go, and I don't have any Ethereum. But I do struggle to like trade breakouts like this, mostly because I can't afford to take big drawdowns. And so it's like, what if it's okay? Yeah, I caught the breakout, but then what? You're like, okay, I'm going to just hold, and then oftentimes you'll end up underwater anyways. So if I don't get a nice entry, if I'm going to trade this breakout, I'm probably taking like some size and then like just getting out on like a 20% move or something. And I don't like to trade like that, so I don't usually do it. But it's yeah, it's my 2 cents. It's tricky to buy something at its all-time high price in this setting with that thing. I got myself really bullish on ETH this week because, you know, Rob on DeltaFi was talking about ETH, you know, futures ETF or whatever. He's like, you know, you got to figure Bitcoin ETF has passed. Who's not going to pass an Ethereum ETF? And then if that happens, you know, that's super bullish, obviously. But then I was like, and even if it doesn't happen and you're speculating that it will, what else you got? Let's go see ETH. You know, what else do we have coming up for Ethereum? Oh yeah, ETH 2.0, monstrous development. Is that coming up the end of next year? Sure. But is it big enough potentially to drive a year of speculation or at least a few months? So I was thinking, you know, worst case, you don't get the ETF, but there's still an ETH 2.0 lingering. And as news and we get closer to it, there'll be news. And look, they could delay it. Who knows? But anyways, I had that chat and I got all fired up about ETH. And I said, how do I own none of this? You know why I owned none of it? Because the fees were too high. I don't like using it. I love DeFi. I love it on Avalanche. You know, FTM's even decent. I haven't admittedly done a lot over there, but I hold some Spirit Swap. But I haven't, and I've traded on Boo. Got to give a shout out to Boo Finance. Like the Halloween themes going on over there. Seem very timely, given that Halloween's in 2 days. But yeah, AVAX is really where I was born into actually using DeFi, and it's where I do most of it with Trader Joe specifically. And ETH just stinks. Like, seriously. I like the coin. I like the history. I like the network value, the network effect. But every time I touched using ETH, it's just like, here, have an entire Uber Eats meal on us. We're going to burn the fees. But, you know, I think there's a ton of value potential in Ethereum. I just, as a user, you've heard the rant before. $2.3 billion worth of Ethereum has been burned. That's bullish. Only bullish. That's not bearish in any universe. So we can hold on to this and say, wow. Like imagine every block this much Ethereum was just sold. Well, it's not now. It's burned. So anyways, I'm long on ETH. No leverage, just parking some capital for what it's worth. I think that's going to do. I think it's going to do pretty well. It was actually this trend line. Messi pointed out to me the other day, and he's like, dude, check the highs trend line. And it was the tap. And I was like, okay, fuck it. It's probably going to go. And it has started to go. How far, how fast, for how long? Oof, we'll find out. But consolidating like this at all-time highs, oof, oof, oof. And this on the BTC looks good. Yeah, ETH 2.0. Jeff says ETH 2.0 is having the Bitcoin halving on speed and cocaine. Yep, both. AI multiverse. Okay, first of all, let's check out the Metaverse. We'll just use mana, just so I can find the tag. Metaverse. I didn't know there was a Metaverse tag. After Facebook, look at this. Look at these down the right here. After Facebook's rebrand yesterday, I think it was, to Metaverse, Meta. As a crypto pattern spotting, echo rally chaser, I feel a little remiss. You know, I don't care about missing SHIB. I probably never was going to get that, but this one I feel a little disappointed. I actually found out about the Metaverse announcement before it was made public on Facebook. I didn't know they were going to make a big public one, but somebody shared with me in the morning. They said, hey, you know, big day for Facebook. I shared it in a Telegram. I said, hey, cool, there's a Metaverse announcement today. Not realizing they were going to do a full bloody rebrand on their Twitter handle and everything. So, yeah, and then, you know, an hour later, somebody's like, dude, Metaverse projects are rallying. So that was probably one that was definitely catchable. Hey, look at that, Ghost is on there. I have some exposure to Metaverse projects, but not a handful of the big ones, and certainly not fresh bags that I just picked up, you know. Oh, UFO is one too, that's interesting. Didn't know that. I do have some exposure to UFO. I do, let me see, where are we at here? Yeah, there's some exposure to a few of these. ETHverse, oh, ETHverse. Classic. It's up 300%. I thought they ended this project. Oh well. That's one we were really bullish on last summer. Summer 2020. All right. Yeah, Jeff, you're coming in hot with the commentary today. I appreciate it. Best time to buy BTC is about 1 year prior to halving. I think Brian Beamish on Twitter, the guy I was talking about earlier, at CR Investor, he put that out today. Chart kind of explaining that. Yeah, AXS. AXS is just doing AXS stuff. Yes, let's all have a laugh. I said that it was probably not a terrible thing to be thinking short up here. If I wanted to be short on the market, that might have been a good proxy. Well, it wasn't. I mean, from the moment that I said it, it did dump, but there was no real setup there, and then it just nuked. You'll be happy to know I didn't lose $1 shorting it. Actually, I did back here, way back when, but then I got out at the stop loss, and it's just another trade. But up here, you know, I was like, where's the volume? But apparently they don't need volume. They just need nobody to sell and everything to be locked up in the treasury or whatever the hell's going on with AXS. Very, very impressive rally. I was trading this thing all the way back here, messing around, trying to catch the big breakout. Got totally sidetracked during the summer doldrums. Never got back in. And I think, you know, sad face. But like, yeah, Axis is killing it. I was like in awe today. I couldn't believe it. I looked over. I was like, holy shit, Axis is above 150 bucks. The best chance I had to load up was probably like 14, 15, 18 bucks. I chose not to. That's the way she goes. Not too bothered, to be honest. Let's check out some Solana plays. First of all, Solana is looking very good. Let's start there. They have a conference coming up in 2 weeks. I don't know if they're the type that has to do something gimmicky and announce something huge on the conference day, but I feel like it's a bit of a letdown, especially because it seems like it's an investor-heavy conference versus like a dev-heavy conference. I could be wrong about that, but I heard someone say that, so now I think it. You know, seems like, I don't know, if I was going to host a big conference in another country, I would probably save up something. Like if you had an announcement to make this month, be like, no, let's do it at the, you know, we'll do it at the conference. So if they do, I mean, we just broke to all-time highs, came down, tested support right in the PCT, and we're bouncing. Nice, consistent rise in buy volume from all of this. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? All these days are consistently higher than that, with the one exception of this selling here. keep an eye on that. But it was dunk right into a retest and then go. So if Solana breaks into price discovery in earnest, there's the list here. There's definitely a bigger list somewhere, but this is the list I have of a bunch of different Solana projects that I think are in the wheelhouse to kind of echo, to rally with it. You know, Ramp, I don't know about Ramp. It seems weird. But I put it on here because it is, you know, it's a soul-based project. Oh, it looks like Ray caught a nasty dump. And there's some illiquidity issues, or just maybe it was just a huge dump. I don't know. But Ray is one that I find interesting. Orca I've had up on my screen forever. I've literally had this up, just this, like, I don't even trade here or look at anything else. I've just had Soul Ape up for an Orca chart for like weeks, ever since I missed the throwback right here. So it could be coming into some interesting levels. And it's you know, I've heard murmurs of it being compared to Radium as like a big AMM over on Solana. So that's one I'd like to acquire a little bit of. I don't have any yet. Let's go back. Maps I've always had a soft spot for. I don't know. I just like it. It's a big ass app, something like 60 million users, and they're going to have like a rev share for maps and stakers. So why not? Pre-made user base. And it's just chilling on this support after a big fat nuke the other day, and it closed bullish. I mean, if that's not, you know, how many times you look back at a rally and you see just before it started, there was this like mega nuke washout of the books, and then it's like tap, regain support, and like in a couple weeks, maybe we're gone. I don't know. But that's my vibe. I also don't own any maps. So I'm actually in a place right now where I need to get serious about reaccumulating my Solana alts. Because I had a basket of them through the summer, as you guys know, and I got rid of them all, as it turns out, thankfully, through the Solana highs. And, you know, through all this, I was just getting rid of all my Solana bags. As it turned out, it was smart. Now it's like I got to be smart again and start taking it seriously. We're at these support levels, and Solana's in price discovery going into a conference. Get your shit together, RT. Focus. So we got this throwback here. Interestingly, FIDA showing the most strength out of all of them. Bon FIDA. Really copying Solana, almost like toe-to-toe with Solana right now. And there's your fib extension. So we could get a nice trade in here. It would have been nice to grab that throwback, but you can't do it all. Mango, another interesting one, right? Sitting down here in the reload zone. Telling me that can't catch a move if Solana shit goes wild. I don't know. I like Mango. I actually do have a bag of that one. It's one of the few I've reaccumulated. And where the hell is SBR? It's not there. Let's go find it. SBR. I saw some volume coming in on this the other day. Let's go see. Oops. Have a drink. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Right off the 88.6, where you might expect to see some reactions from the bulls. And we got one, and there's some decent volume cooking up here. Some red candles in it too, not all green, but it is moving sideways with rising volume after a little breakout here. So 2 big buy days followed by some chop. So this looks like it's a bottom forming. So I guess the question is opportunity cost. How long do I want to sit in this bag? You know, maybe to avoid some of that, for the sake of overthinking it and risking missing it altogether, I could say this is resistance, because it is. And maybe we just go and, you know, maybe I get an alert above here and just wait for that to fire, and then I can get the next dip. That way, if it does this for a month, I don't feel like I missed out on anything else. And when it finally does break out of here, wherever that is, usually there's the throwback. Just like this one. This is the one. Something like that. But what happens on these throwback days, right? For most people, especially ones without plans, but even ones with plans, because I had a plan and I still didn't do it. But for most people on those kind of dump days, you're just looking around and you're getting sucked into Twitter crap, and people are like, "Oh, that was the highs. You know, get out now. You should have sold some. We're going down." And so on those support test days, it's often like, if anything, people are trimming their positions, unfortunately, instead of just getting bids filled that they patiently had set. So if you've never done that before, try it. Try it. Find a you know, a thing that's rallying that got away from you. Find like a nice, reasonable bullish throwback. Set, if not even a bid, like paper trade it or set an alert and just wait. I had that happen the other day. Let's go see it actually. Fuck it. CRISPR. I set an alert on CRISPR like forever ago. This is stock, by the way, but this is the only time I had this happen to me recently. And you know, I don't know why. I'm sure we could figure out why I set it there. Reload zone, yeah. And so I saw CRISPR like hanging out up here, maybe This is in May. Oh God, this is a weekly. Yeah. So like back in the spring, I was like, ooh, I want to get some CRISPR, but I don't care about stocks. You know, I'm not going to lose sleep over missing a stock. But I said, okay, if it comes down and hits this sweet spot, I'm gonna get an alert and pick some up. Oh, I just got that the other day. I was like, holy shit, yeah, forgot about CRISPR. So it's trending down, so I'm not rushing into it now, but I'm paying attention again. And you'd be surprised how often that happens when you get FOMO on something and you just set a patient bid or an order or an alert. Just don't give a shit and go do something else. Go find something else that is in the buy zone. Trade that for a bit and then come back and you get that fill. You get those throwbacks. So as a habit, it's good. All that to say, it's either going to go PCZ and go, or it's just going to chill for a bit. Either way, I'd rather wait. Loud music? Really? This far into the stream, you tell me, David? Damn you, sir. It's at 12 out of 100, but it is a new thing. I usually play on Spotify, and I know the volume on that. This is on SoundCloud. So I'm going to take it down 20% just for you, David, even though you waited an hour to tell me, and now I feel silly. Okay, Coach Papa says, no, music's good. So, David, you know what to do, sir. All right, let's get serious, guys. We got about 15, 20 minutes left in the hour. Maybe leak over a little bit. Let's go look. Solana dog token, is that Samo? Samo, yeah, let's get a couple of requests in there, guys. If you got coins, you're like, oh, I wonder what RT thinks about this. I wonder if we could chart that. Let's get some thoughts on Chaos. Look at this, Chaos PRZ. Number 2, 877. Yeah, somebody asked me the other day to chart this, so I did. That's why these markings are here, but like interesting how it's kind of getting its play. Let's zoom in and see if it got even more. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. You get up into that chaos level, chaos ensues. Not exactly at it. This isn't like the cleanest example, but clearly anyone trading off of this chaos level didn't feel too out of place. You know, at this 4669 down here, you certainly did. Just cut through like butter. What chaos? Get out of here. But it's acting as resistance today, or at least has potential to. God damn, every single dog coin in the world is moving. Floki's one I keep hearing about. Let's go see what Floki. Shit. I think I saw Floki at 110 and was like, oh no, I can't go chasing. It was like right around here. I was like, can't chase dog tokens. What I need to do is just put like a small, paltry amount of capital aside in like a dog wallet, where I don't have to worry about, ooh, I'm buying highs, ooh, I gotta manage risk. Like just put in an amount where the entire wallet is risk managed. Lose the whole thing, don't care. That kind of thing. And then, you know, and then I could have just aped into it when someone told me about Floki at 110. Then I would have double what I put in. Oh well, this is what it is. It's gonna go. I don't know the value of any of these, so I don't, you know, I'm very middle curve when it comes to dog tokens, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't care. Like, you know, for all the people that talk about how much they made on them, I'm sure a lot of people really messed up the dog token plays. So if you're messing around with them now, late in the rallies, arguably late, could be early, just, you know, be careful, guys. I don't want to hear any stories about people buying highs on dog tokens and going broke. Doesn't feel good. You don't need to. I don't need to. That's the thing, right? I can say you don't need to. Maybe you do. I don't need to. There's just too much shit going on in the market. Too much good stuff. Too many strategies that I know work over time. Doesn't mean it's easy. But my God, it's not gambling. And I feel like the dog token thing is gambling. Buying them at the lows, saying that it'll come again, like, yeah, low risk gamble, high reward gamble. Buying them now, makes me uncomfortable. Anyways, Algo looks fucking great. It looked great last week. I think we talked about it the last 2 weeks, actually. It's just been moving sideways all month. So where does it go from here? Well, certain things are breaking into price discovery. I mean, I think the next leg is up. Objectively speaking, you know, if I zoom in here on the daily, there's kind of a nasty reversal signal, though. It's not great. All things considered, this looks like shit. That is called an Empire Fractal reversal, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of had one here. It's like a thing of chop, but it's like up, a little bit up in the middle, down, break the low of that candle. Apparently the market didn't care, though. Actually, I think to trigger that, you then need to like break the low of that wick. So, haha. just chop. I'd be curious to know what's actually being built on Algo, right? It's one of those L1s that's being talked so highly about. The stakers are, getting their 5%, apparently very high staking participation, which is a good sign. But like, is there DeFi over there? Can we bridge to Algo and try it out? Anybody done that yet in the chat? Yeah, Vince nailed it. I mean, he's like, yeah, I picked up a couple things. Now I feel like I have a little bit of dog exposure. That's all you need. I mean, fuck it. I should have picked one and just put in, some tiny amount that, enough that an ETH fee was worth it. Fucking ETH fees. But cat dude, yeah, I don't know. I'm not an animal token guy. It's so boring, I know. Such a boomer. I did put out a tweet the other day, though, to the effect of, if this market tops into another dog mania that I am not a part of, might sue. Now, there's some truth to that. It would be. I don't think I'd be as disappointed about missing the dogs as I would about just that we had this big blow-off rally and my coins weren't explicitly involved. Fool me once, fool me twice. You know what I mean? So this would be round 2 of me just missing the dog thing, but whatever. I didn't care at the start of the stream. Now I care a lot. You guys are mean. ShibX. Yeah, see? ShibX is probably the one I should have done. I actually had some at one point, once upon a time. When I first arrived at AVAX and I was just aping into all this stuff. I don't know when it's like ShibX. Like, this is literally a copycat. At least have your own name. But yeah, it's a dog token. It's the AVAX equivalent. I think Husky was one that I was hearing about over on AVAX as well. Yeah, look at that. That's volume. I think Husky looks stronger than ShibX. No idea what ShibX does. Like, as far as, I know that's always the wrong question to ask. Like, it doesn't do anything. It's a dog token. Shut up and buy it. It's going up. But like, is there anything? Like, you go to the website and they say, hey, we're going to do this. We have a roadmap. We're going to market. We're like something. I've never actually gone to a dog token website. So I don't know. But this looks good. Like, yeah, if there's going to be more dogness, this is probably one that's like in a nice dip. I don't know. Does it? Should I just do it? Oh god, it looks worse from this position. Oh, dog token in the reload zone. Look at that. Somebody got filled on their not limit order, market order. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm probably not going to. But Algo looks dope. Algo looks really good. But just like down here, it's going to test patience. Just like back here, it's going to test patience. But 187. I think it is probably time for me to get a little bit of Algo. It's just one of those ones I've just heard about from too many people, too many smart people. And then if it ever just goes on some ridiculous longer term run, and I'll be like, oh, I kept thinking I missed it because I missed the one rally. It's sitting at high time frame support, PCZ. Yeah, I think I can allocate a little bit. How about a tiger? I just mortgaged my house for a T-King and cat. Damn. Yeah, I keep hearing about cat tokens. Is that a real thing? Is there actually cat tokens? Are they actually doing well? ShibX, the most info of dog tokens I have seen, but not my thing. Okay. Good to know. Final thoughts. Let's go. ETH BTC looks like it's never moved when I look at it day to day, but it does. I'm so excited to see what happens here. Even if we have to tap this, like in retrospect, it'll look like nothing. You'll be like, oh, look at that. Tap support. 52K. But I'm so excited to see what comes in the week or two. I have a feeling that this breakout here will be driven by some kind of catalyst. Of course, if we get it. I hate, even with the chart the way it is, to say it's guaranteed to happen. But like, if we break out from here, I feel like it's going to be a catalyst of some kind. I don't know what it could be, because like multiple pension funds announced last week that they were going to be investing in crypto and Bitcoin, presumably. So, was that not enough to cause the breakout, or is that just what got us to here? But what could be announced here that would just send us onto another big wave? And I really think that if you want to find out like a fractal of what at least how I'm seeing things, this is it. This was our previous all-time high. And once we navigated it, maybe it takes another 2 or 3 weeks, but then it's just like cat's out of the bag. It's going to move. It's going to move. It's going to move hard. Because it's all air up there. There's no reasonable resistance. Like, right now, I think it's still like there's a debate. Was that it? Is that it? Are we going to 57, right? There's an argument. But once we break into price discovery, like where's the next reasonable, logical area for someone to say, this should be the top, I will sell here. Well, it's not for a little while. And then I'm sure there's little reasons and we can move in and get some nice little TA and people will do, market will be market. There'll be profit takers. But this just looks like a nice little bull flag after taking all the all-time highs. So exciting. So exciting. If you guys stick around for years, these moments, they only come once, twice a year on good years. 20K earlier this year, now 62. I can't even believe it. I mean, I still remember this night. Let's all have a moment of silence for the bros. This thing liquidated the world. This was insanity. I mean, this is a daily chart. This is like day after day after day after day. And then finally, Trump announces European borders are closed. Rush the market. And it was just 10 million lots getting liquidated back to back to back to back. It seemed like it would never end. I was looking at the liquidator aggregator thing on BitMEX. Oh my God. Here we are. Here we are sweating the 60K all-time high re-break, breaking back above it. Ugh. Good times. Good times. Good times, guys. It's Friday. Oh my God, Caleb just said CRV. We should look at CRV. Damn it. Nice one, bro. Let's finish up with CRV. You know why? Because I have a bag. Ooh, yeah, CRV's been really strong. Like through the dipperies this week, the dipperinos. Nice. Let's give a shout to the Chaos. PRZ came in, tink, tink. Like, it's doing its job. People are taking profit at that level, as if by some magic. But, there was a really nice signal. I love the TA on CRV. And the other thing I love about this is look at this consolidation, right? Longer the consolidation, longer the build-up, the harder the move. So I didn't, rush to unstake my CVX CRV and try to get out here. I typically do on a trade, but this is more of a yield hold for me until I get a very clear signal that this is over. And this is a conservative chaos PRZ, right? I grabbed the low here and the high here. If we zoom out, is there another chart I can do without messing this one up? Yeah, let's do it. Let's just get nasty for a sec. Let's just zoom out and pretend that CRV is the future. It's the multi-chain DeFi hub of everything. Can we get gross? Can we start thinking ridiculous thoughts? I don't see why not. New paradigm shit. The curve is dope. It's intense. It's powerful. And as it gets onto new chains, maybe even ETH 2.0 powers it a year or two from now. And it's just all these different things. And it's now apparently net deflationary. And if they vote to remove the whitelist, so more than just convex yearn and whatever else can actually build on curve, think about the what that could mean. So this is more my view of it. If I was going to be brutally honest with you. So then you go back here and you're like, okay, well, am I gonna run out of here at that first chaos? No, that's not the kind of trade I'm in. But somebody did, and they made probably some pretty good money. It's a very liquid coin. So sick trade, but not done yet for me. Because every day I don't sell this, it's like I'm just capturing yield, which I like. I put a pretty healthy stack in there. Not, nothing ridiculous, but enough that it's like, yeah, the yield could be a certain type of salary, especially when the underlying is bullish. It is bullish, even when we dipped here. Even if we dipped all the way down here, that's a bullish trend. So love curve. Love being long on curve. I don't love the ETH fees associated with curve, but they're doing a lot, they're building a lot, and yeah, if they open up that whitelist, oof. So guys, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here on the show today in the audience. If you haven't already and you liked the show, let me know. Hit the like. The algo loves it. I love it even more. Sub to the channel if you haven't, and hit the notification bells. We're going to be going live next Wednesday for Delta Phi. Same time as always. Should have the full crew together, I hope. And then next Friday, actually, I won't be here to do this. I'm going to Lisbon. Going to Lisbon to the Solana conference, which is exciting. It means I get to hang out with Rob and Dan and possibly see Danny there as well. Mr. Daniele Sesta himself, whose name I always like to take slow. So I'll be out in Portugal for a week starting next Friday. So I think we'll do this stream maybe earlier in the week. Maybe Tuesday? Fuck it. Maybe Monday. Let's see how the weekend goes. So definitely get those notifications on because I honestly don't know when it'll be up, but when I put it up, you'll know. But yeah, thanks for coming to hang, guys. And whatever you do this weekend, whatever you do till next time, always play from a position of strength. Take care.